Do you know what heuristics are? Heuristics are one of my favorite concepts in game design, but we don't hear about them nearly enough as we should. Heuristics have a major impact on how players enjoy your game, and they help drive the success of your game as well. And yet, you probably don't know what they are, how they work, or what you should do with them. So, do you want to find out? Hey guys, it's Harry. I've been a game designer and producer for the past 10 years, and in this channel, I want to talk all about game production. I have worked with big and small teams on mobile and PC games, and currently my focus is to help developers have more efficient productions in their projects. So if you're a developer or just a game enthusiast, subscribe, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow the channel and get this discussion out to more and more people. Oh, and also don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the next videos. I'm trying to upload at least once a week, so there's more to come. All right, heuristics. I get really excited talking about heuristics. It's a concept that I love, and it's great to have a place here on my own so I can talk about stuff that I don't hear about too much in other videos, you know? You have tons of videos covering Unity, Unreal tutorials, art tutorials, but in my opinion, very few videos and content talking about general production and best practices. I'll explain more of what game production actually is and what producers do in another video, but just keep in mind that a good production goes a long way in driving the team to success. So to talk about heuristics, I'm going to be referencing one of the best books that you can find in game design. It's called Characteristics of Games by Richard Garfield, George Scaphelios, and Robert Kuchera. You might know Richard Garfield from, I don't know, Magic the Gathering? Nothing too big. In their book, the authors define heuristics as the rules of thumb that help players play your game. Let's think about that for a minute. Every game has embedded rules that define what is possible in the game and how players interact with it. These are called the mechanics. But heuristics, they draw from those rules to create, let's say, the best practices in how to play the game, how to navigate the rules in order to win or achieve whatever goals the players have. To understand that, we can take some examples from real games. In Street Fighter, one heuristic would be move forward while blocking as often as possible. One very common mistake in low-level players is that they don't block enough, so they are always vulnerable to the opponent's attacks. If you watch pro players play Street Fighter, you see that they are always dancing back and forth, so they are always blocking while they try to do other things and other strategies. It's about blocking while you gain more ground over your enemy. Another example would be Elden Ring. Oh boy. In this game, one of the basic heuristics would be learn the attack patterns of the bosses and how to dodge them. But if you played Elden Ring even a minute, you know that's much easier said than done. But it is nonetheless one of the key things you should do if you want to progress and succeed in the game. And let's see, we can also talk about Death Stranding and its heuristics. And if I can find the right words to describe, one heuristic would be, well, walk. Jokes aside, Death Stranding is a great game, and I love the time I spent playing it. So if you're tired of shooting monsters and creatures of evil, go play it. Kojima-san is awesome. Do you have other examples of heuristics in games you played? Leave in the comments below, I want to know. So if you paid enough attention, you saw that heuristics are not the tutorial of a game. They don't tell you how to move a character or how to shoot an enemy. They don't teach you how to play the game. They teach you how to win. They are organic strategies to help players navigate through the game. And that's the big thing here. Players learn how to play and improve on a game via heuristics. And that's the single biggest activity that they perform in the game. As they learn the game more and more, the better they become and the more engaged they become with the game. And to support that, we can say that there's low-level heuristics, intermediate ones, and advanced heuristics as well. So you see that progressing through any game is actually progressing through its heuristics, from beginner to advanced ones. This is a process called climbing the heuristics tree, mastering the low-level ones until you get to the higher ones. If we go back to our examples, in Street Fighter or any fighting game, you first get comfortable with the basic moves, punching and kicking, and then you start to learn and use some basic combos, and after a while you play the more intricate strategies. Trying to cheat or skip the heuristics tree is when you, well, do that. Most of the enjoyment we find in games comes from climbing the heuristics tree. All the fun, engagement, progression, it all comes down to it. Powerful, isn't it? It's about learning the best strategies, applying them, and getting rewarded by doing it. Getting rewarded by learning is satisfying no matter if you learn how to jump on a Goomba in Mario or if you finally defeat that freaking boss in Elden Ring after like 50 attempts. But heuristics may change. You might misinterpret them, you might discuss them online with other people, and you might learn them over time and improve upon them. They are not set in stone. Even the designers of the game cannot predict all of the heuristics that players are gonna find. Those are called the emergent properties or strategies. Alright, let me stop you. That's all great, that's all beautiful, but I'm trying to finish my game here and I don't have time for your heuristics. I don't have time for that. There's tons of stuff to do. Actually, if you're making a game and are not taking heuristics into consideration and integrating them in your production, you might as well just be gambling. You know, playing cards, betting on red. Heuristics are what you should be planning for when you design your systems and levels. It's the main thing that you should focus on your playtesting sessions. It's what you need to discuss and refine with your team. In my opinion, planning and polishing heuristics are the best way to keep the production focused on what matters the most, your players. So you as a developer or simply as a player, how many times can you think of games that you were super excited about, the hype was real, but when people actually play it, it's not that good? The systems don't quite work. It's like the game doesn't know what it wants to be. Maybe it wants to be too many things at the same time. A lot of times the problem was that the designers and developers weren't thinking enough about heuristics. It baffles me that it's not something that people talk about, and that has major consequences in the quality of the final product. Have you heard the expression that a game is easy to learn but hard to master? Guess what? That's heuristics too. It's many times used to describe games that are challenging but do a good job at teaching players how to play the game at a competent level and beyond. That sounds like climbing the heuristics tree, maybe? Hopefully by now you understand that planning heuristics is the best way for you to build an experience like that. So if you're a developer, my strong suggestion is that you make sure that your team is talking about the heuristics of your game. What is the path the player takes when climbing the heuristics tree? And plan your features and improvements based on that, at least when we talk about gameplay. I guarantee you have a better game at the end. And if you're just a gamer and you want to get good at some game that you're playing, try to think about heuristics and how to become better at them. By the way, one final thing. Do you know the difference between heuristics and skill? Heuristics is knowing what to do, and a skill is actually becoming good at doing that. Okay, that was great. I love talking about that kind of stuff. If you like it as well, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn the notifications on because there's more coming next week. That's it, guys. See you in the next video.